Hey guys, my name is Haniya, and today I wanted to talk about germinating Christmas tree palms. If you're not familiar, Christmas tree palms get their names from having red berries that hang off the actual palm. So green fronds, red berries, Christmas. They are probably the easiest palm to germinate. I found some seeds on eBay a couple months ago. I believe they were picked February 2021. I planted them in March, and I'm gonna walk you through my process. Here are my babies. They're so cute. They're just coming right up. I actually have to separate them out of this pot pretty soon because they are really crowded and they might choke each other out. So how do you get Christmas tree palms to germinate? Well, first you get some fresh seeds, which is important for most palm seeds. The further away you are in time from when they were picked, the less likely they are to be viable, so just keep that in mind if you see palm trees on seed websites. I know I've gotten a bunch of them in the past that have never germinated because they were old. That's one thing. The second thing I'll mention is that you need to soak these for a very long time. I probably had them soaking for a week. The warmer the water, the better, I would say. You want to put the jar or glass or whatever you have them soaking in on top of a seed heating mat. They, I believe, even started to germinate inside of the jar, which was kind of cool. One thing to know about that, if you are leaving them for many days inside, or any seeds inside of a jar for many days, you need to be changing out the water maybe every 12 to 24 hours and just monitoring it to see whether it's turning stale or whether it's smelling very gross. One of the seeds may be not viable in there and is starting to mold inside of there, but at least changing out the water keeps it a fresh environment for the other seeds and they don't get affected by that fungus. Once they were done soaking, I took them out of the jar, drained the water out, and then made a mixture of both coir and perlite, coconut coir and perlite. I would not suggest anything else because I think that regular soil is way too rich for palm seeds, and you also really want it to hold a lot of moisture and be somewhat porous at the same time. When I planted the seeds in the coconut coir and perlite mix, I put them down about 2 inches. But I want to say palms need a ton of light. So even if they're a bit under the coconut coir, they're still going to make their way up trying to find the light. You're going to want to give them a ton of light just like they would have in a tropical area. And that for me meant really close to a southern facing window or a couple inches under a grow light. I also wanted to mention that I put a baggie over the tops of both of my pots. This is just to demonstrate so that it would help keep the moisture in, especially when the heat was cycling on and off. And I didn't take it off until I saw the seeds starting to come through the top layer of soil. It took roughly 6 weeks to even start to see the first little tips. And I also left them on top of a heater, but I have the benefit of living in an older apartment building in Brooklyn where the heater cycles on and off all day, and especially that transition from winter to spring where it's sort of cold inside, but then the heater gets up to maybe 95 degrees and then cycles back down to maybe 50 degrees at night. That really helps them germinate. I would also say you can just leave them on a seed heating mat. I'm doing that currently with another type of palm that I'll be making a video about in a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, depending on how soon they start developing their leaves. If you can, try to give them some temperature variation, even if it's just opening a baggie on top of a seed mat and letting some of that humidity out and having a little bit of an air exchange to drop the temperature a few degrees, and then you can put it back on the seed mat. I'm trying to see if I can even just like pull one out for a second. Unlike other palm seeds where they get pretty moldy if you don't clean them, these guys were really tough and just kept growing despite of that. At the stage these guys are right now, and maybe even slightly before, you could start to pull them out and put them into individual pots. Leaving them in a setting like this keeps the humidity up and also helps them grow a bit faster. But now that they've clearly established themselves on their own, I'm not going to worry about it as much. I just need to get them out because there's already like a crack forming on this pot and I'm kind of scared that they're gonna break it. Awesome, thanks guys. There really isn't too much with these palm seeds. Some other palm seeds can be a bit more tricky to germinate and require more cleaning and for you to know about the germination pore on the seed itself, which is kind of fascinating but also frustrating because there's a whole process involved to tricking the seed into germinating. Christmas tree palm seeds definitely are easy. You don't even have to take the husk off of the seed. You can just stick them right into a mix of coconut coir and perlite and up they come. Let me know in the comments though if I missed anything or if you're curious about where to get these seeds. Like I said, I just found some fresh ones on eBay and decided I'd give them a try, and now they are overcrowding my pot and I need to get some giant pots for them because they're gonna grow pretty quickly. I can already tell. Like these little fish tails.